And again was that there was swelling around that the size of this one was of this like a walnut, right? About the size of a walnut in the brain. I tried to get in touch with my previous neurosurgeon in San Francisco, Dr. Wilson, but he was on vacation. They couldn't find him. So I had my intern, one of my students, who was an intern at Queens. He's now a practicing neurosurgeon. Imagine having a student operate on you. He operated on me at Kuakini, and he was able to get that out completely also. It was also encapsulated. In other words, yeah, he got that out. And after that, my writing improved. Came back to normal. Again, I didn't have any problems with any loss of function of my hands or sensation. So after the two brain operations, I'm very grateful that I don't have any deficit, motor or sensory. I still have my marbles, hopefully. Yeah. So again, as I think about my problems here, I mean, as Richard says, you gotta have a positive attitude in handling your problems, and of course, one of the most important things is support. And my wife has gone through all of this with me for 40 years, so I'm very happy for her.
Well, you didn't even tell him about the other operations.
Well, the other ones are small.
Well, yeah, small axillary nodes.
Yeah, I had at one
lumps.
point.
And then before he went up,
Axillary means in armpit, okay?
that was the last operation, and that's what
That's
you.
again renal cell. Very unusual to see. And also the skin of my back.
Yeah, that's
I had-
1996.
I had,
oh yeah, that. I'll tell him that story. Before we went up for the big abdominal operation in California, he noticed on his back, it was about that long, and he said that.
Not that long.
Yes,
It was a
it
small
was. It
lesion.
was not. It was that long. I saw it. And so he said to me, he thought it was a metastatic lesion. I thought it was a sebaceous cyst, because that's what it looked like. And he says to me, which was so stupid, he says, when we get up there, don't, and this guy was another world famous surgeon,
Urologist.
Skinner, yeah, urologist, Skinner. He says, don't tell any of the doctors about the thing on my back. Now, how ridiculous. I mean, he was examined by so many people, but even Skinner said, oh, you have a sebaceous cyst on your back. So when we got back to Honolulu, we were up there for, I don't know, 3 or 6 weeks, I forget. I knew it bothered him. So a plastic surgeon we know, Don Parsa, he called him up.
Plastic surgeon.
Yeah, plastic surgeon. And it was a Saturday, and he was nice enough to say, come on down, I'll take care of it. And he did. And he took it out, and I saw it in the jar, that long, and took it over to Queens, the lab, and that turned out to be renal cell. So you wonder, if they knew that it had spread to his skin, would they operate on his brain? Would they operate, or would they just say, this is a lost cause? So I think you covered it all.
Yeah, well, the important thing here I want to stress is the fact that when you have support like this from me, the best support I ever had was with my wife, who went through this all with me. And one other thing, God, I think, because every time I got sick, I said a prayer. As I say, I have to do my prayers. When you get problems like this, you pray, and I think the prayers have helped a lot. So that's my story.
I remember
That's my story.
up in Houston at MD Anderson, and that place is just unbelievable. I mean, it's like the Hilton Hawaiian Village with people signing in from A to L and L to Z. And there was a chapel, and I used to go to mass, at noontime. And when I went down there, I remember the priest saying, "There's no such thing as a hopeless case. If you don't have hope," but we all know there are some people that are hopeless cases, and that's been his attitude. I'm not saying mine would be that way.
Attitude, very important.
Every time he would find, some bad news, he'd have a good cry, and then he'd say, "I'm going to meet the challenge." And I don't think I would do it, but that was the way, that certainly helped him along the way.
Attitude is so important,
Oh,
really.
yes.